Whoa, what's this? What was this? This is some kind of temple or whoa. Look at that, like its eyes catch on fire. I mean, I guess let's go inside and check it out. Doesn't seem to be anything in here yet, but looks like there's a lot of room to build something. Yeah, wow, this looks like some sort of magnificent contraption. Wow, this looks awesome, man. I want to know how to build this. Alright, yeah, obviously this is something I built myself, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to build it. My name is Robert Gaming, and I would like to welcome you to another Minecraft video. Since it's Halloween coming up, I figured, you know what, let's build something spooky. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put down 2 stone pressure plates, and you're going to put down a trail of redstone dust leading from underneath into the side. You're going to put down a redstone repeater. You're going to bring that trail of redstone dust now up a few blocks, because this is going to be the main area where the redstone action is taking place. So you can see behind the kind of pig face on the front, we have this big area where we're going to build all the redstone stuff in. So you're going to bring that trail of redstone dust up a few more blocks until it's just about level with the cobblestone blocks here that form the pig's eyes. We are going to keep bringing that trail back. We're going to bring it back about 5 or 6 blocks behind the pig face. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want to leave ourselves enough room so that we can actually put in all the pistons and stuff. We are now going to place in the first 4 pistons, 2 pistons above each eye, and we place them 1 block above each eye because they are going to grab the eyes when we first extend them. And in order to extend them, we're going to need to connect the area where they are to the existing redstone dust trail. So we're going to put down some blocks here and connect the trail to it. I ended up deleting some of these blocks because, as you can see, I did place a few too many of them here, but as extra blocks didn't really affect anything. Anyway, we are now going to place down a redstone repeater to extend the signal, and we will now put down the redstone dust to connect it to the pistons, and we are actually going to break that redstone repeater, and we're going to replace it with a redstone torch, which, in addition to having the function of extending the signal, is also going to make it so that it will reverse the function of a normal pressure plate. So instead of stepping on the pressure plate makes the pistons extend, it will now make the pistons retract, and that will give us room to put in the dispensers to make the fire appear. But before we can put in the fire, we need to put in the blocks that the fire will appear on, and we're going to use netherrack for this because, as many of you will know, netherrack has the nice property of burning forever once lit, and the netherrack block itself will not be destroyed. We're also going to put in stone blocks around the edges of the cobblestone, and that will just make it look nice from the outside. You won't be able to see any holes when the eyes retract. But anyway, it is now time to put in the dispensers. So we're going to go 1 block back from each of the cobblestone blocks. And to do that, we're going to just place down some blocks to put the dispensers on, because in order to make them face forward, we do have to be standing from that direction. So we're going to place 1 dispenser from each side, and it's quite difficult to get them to actually go the direction you want them to go in. But as you can see, just by going around these corners here, I was able to do it. So again, that's 2 dispensers there, and they face directly into the cobblestone blocks. So we are now going to extend the redstone trail to connect to these dispensers. And what we're going to do with the dispensers is we are going to put flint and steel inside of them. Now, flint and steel has 64 uses, so you will need to replace the flint and steel after 64 uses of this mechanism. But you can also just put in up to 9 flint and steel and take a long time before you would have to replace them. Anyway, now that the flint and steel is in the dispensers, that is basically the entire mechanism for the eyes, and I will duplicate that mechanism on the other side as well. So again, we put in the 2 dispensers. In order to make them face forward, you do it from the corners, and that's 1 on each side. And then inside of the dispensers, we of course are going to place our 2 flint and steels, and again, putting up to 9 flint and steels to make it last a long time before you would have to replace them. And then, of course, we will connect the redstone trail so that these dispensers will be activated when we step on the pressure plate. And yeah, so as I said, that is basically the entire mechanism for the eyes done. I'm just checking here to make sure that everything is within 15 blocks of a repeater or redstone torch, and it is. So now we can head on outside of this building, and sure enough, from the front, we can see we step on the pressure plates and the eyes light on fire. And yeah, so as you can see, it's actually quite simple to do the eyes. And if you wanted to, you could even just do the eyes and forget about making the mouth. But we are going to do the mouth, and that's what we're going to do next. So let's start by breaking away this kind of entrance here. and this is where the actual sticky pistons are going to go after I've chipped away a little bit more of this floor anyway. So let's keep going. So add in some more stone bricks, and then this is actually where the people who enter this are going to walk. And then over here in the front, you can see this is where we are actually going to have the floor come up and come down. And then over here in the back is where the sticky pistons for the stairs that kind of form the wall here are going to go. So we're going to place 2 blocks of blue wool here against the edge of the stone here. And then onto these 2 blocks of blue wool, we are going to place the 2 sticky pistons that will extend and retract the stairs. So let's get those 2 placed in. And then let's see, down over here is where we are going to place the, oh, get out of the way, chicken. Come on, you're getting in the way. Get out of the way. Come on. Yeah, go away. As I was saying, over here we are going to place down the 2 sticky pistons. They're going to be exactly 1 block outside of the door here, so exactly next to the area where the pig face is. And then down here, this is going to kind of be the hallway where people walk through, and I'm actually going to slightly extend it out a bit just so people have room to keep walking through without bumping their heads. So let's see, all these seem to be enough, and you can of course replace these blocks with stairs. But the next thing that we are going to do is we're actually going to connect these pistons to the existing redstone trail so that they can actually activate. So we're going to bring them out by 3 blocks on each side, and then bring those back up to the upper redstone trail. It's going to have to be up a couple blocks here because we actually need to connect it up, but that should work out fine. And we're going to bring the trail of redstone dust down around here and make it connect to the pistons. And then we're going to do the exact same on the other side, bring it out by 3 blocks, bring it up over here, and then make it connect up to the upper redstone trail. So let's connect these blocks up, build up the trail of blocks up to the top here, and now we can connect the redstone so that when the pressure plates are stepped on, they will activate these pistons. But what we're also going to do here is we're also going to block off the front here just to make it look all nice, and that is actually how it will look at the end from the outside. You will not be able to see these redstone wires or interior workings of the mechanism. But anyway, the next thing to do is we're actually going to place down some redstone torches here, and we're doing that for the same reason as we did up above, is we're going to make it so the pistons are extended by default instead of being retracted by default. We're also putting repeaters behind the torches, and we will extend those repeaters later on in order to make it so you actually have time to walk through the door. But speaking of the door, let's move on to the other pistons now that are located at the bottom of the door, and we are now going to connect these to the redstone. So let's knock away the blocks here and connect this over to the pressure plates. As you can see, pretty close to this wall here. And we're just going to build a redstone trail right to these pistons so that these pistons will also be retracted. And in order to make them retracted when you step on the pressure plate, we're going to add in first a repeater here to extend the amount of time you have to enter the door. And then we are also going to add in, of course, a redstone torch to make a NOT gate. So now that those are extended, we can actually head back up here and place in the 4 blocks of stone bricks, and now the outside is looking basically normal. But on the inside, we still have a little bit more work to do. We're going to extend the lengths of these repeaters over here, and that will extend the amount of time that we have to actually enter the door before it just closes in your face. And you can also extend the amount of time to enter the door by replacing the stone pressure plates with wooden ones, but I decided to keep them as stone here just to kind of fit the theme. You can see we got lots of stone blocks and stone bricks, so I decided wooden ones wouldn't make that much sense. But anyway, now as you can see, we can go right to the front, and we actually should have enough time here to actually enter the door before it closes, and we do. But there is still a little bit more work to do here. We're going to make it so you can actually open the door from the inside as well as the outside. And I'm also over here, I'm going to quickly extend this tunnel a little bit there. I just cut away so that it wouldn't take too long. But yeah, so now let's get started on working on that way to open the door from the inside. So the first thing I tried for opening the door from the inside was pressure plates, but those didn't really work out because, as you can see, we're on a super flat world, and I built this right above bedrock, so there really wasn't enough room to do redstone underneath. But if you were doing this on a normal world, or you were doing this higher up on a super flat world, then you would totally have enough room to do pressure plates if you wanted. But in this case, there just unfortunately wasn't enough room to make it work out. But that isn't actually a major issue because instead of pressure plates, I was just able to do a button on the side of the wall. And that was very easy to set up because in order to do a button instead of pressure plates, all you have to do is you just have to build over where the pressure plates were, and then you raise up the trail of redstone dust a couple blocks here behind the wall, and then that way we'll be able to reach the place on the wall where you're going to put in the button. So as you can see, I just destroyed a few dirt blocks back here and raised the redstone trail up a couple blocks, and that way it was directly behind the block where I knew that I would be placing the button. But there are still a few more things to do beyond this that we need to do in order to make this contraption work. So the first thing is to extend the amount of time you have to enter the door by adding a few more repeaters. I added this one repeater down here, but that still actually wasn't enough. You can see I tried entering the door, and it doesn't actually work out. I think I tried it twice, and you can see that there's just barely not enough time. So I decided that I'd have to extend it a little more. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're actually going to extend it in a couple more places. But before we did that, I decided I'd take one more, kind of wander down here to the area where the button is, make sure everything was set up correctly there, and it is. So now it's time to get to extending the duration of time we have to enter the door. So over here, what I did was I essentially just added in a couple more repeaters to make sure that we would actually have enough time to actually enter the door. But I did make a mistake in this area. So what I did was over here, I accidentally broke this block here that had the redstone directly underneath one of the two pressure plates. So you can still enter from the other pressure plate, but if you want to enter from both pressure plates, have them both activate the signal, then you do need to fix that, but it's very easy to fix. Just build it one more block back or something should be fine, or just put the repeater in another location. But after I added in those couple repeaters there, everything there seemed to be good. So I did one more glance over the entire redstone wire, and everything seemed to be in its proper place. Everything was connected. So without further ado, let's head on outside and test the door. So the fire goes in the eyes, the mouth opens, and sure enough, we're able to walk through with plenty of time to spare. So the final thing to do was, of course, to block off this area where I entered the redstone, press the button, and sure enough, we can exit the door from the inside as well. So that is actually all of the interior redstone complete, but there is a couple more things that I am going to do. So the first thing I did was over here, I just kind of went back down here to where the pressure plates are, and I did extend this one repeater to be the full 4 ticks of delay, just so that we could have as much time as possible to exit the door from the inside. And sure enough, from the outside again, no change, so that's still working perfectly. But from the inside, when we go on inside, you'll see that we're actually able to have a slightly easier time exiting the door when we press this button. We have a little bit more time to actually walk up to the door without having to worry about it slamming shut in our face. But there is one more thing I decided to do on the inside, and that was actually to extend that kind of hallway a little bit and make it look a little nicer too. But of course, the design of the hallway here is entirely up to you. And there's all this space back here for you to build your base or build whatever it is that you want to build back there. And yeah, so that's basically the entire interior done. And there is still one more thing to do for the exterior though, and that is to decorate it and make it look at least a little bit nicer. So what I decided to do was to add some mossy cobblestone and some cracked stone bricks and some vines just to make it look a little overgrown, look a little spookier. And I'll skip ahead so you don't have to see me placing in all of these vines and stone bricks and all that. But it did work out. It does make it a lot spookier. It does make it look a bit nicer. And yeah, so here's the final result. You step on the pressure plates, the eyes catch on fire, and then the door opens in the mouth so that you can walk into this wonderful interior area where you can build whatever you want. And you've got loads of space, and you obviously can build, you could build this into the side of the mountain to get even more space. So this really is the kind of thing where you can really extend this and do whatever you want behind this giant pig face. But that is just about it. That's all I really have for this video. So I guess for the final thing I'd like to say, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, or if you're super afraid of this pig. And of course, feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos. I do plan on uploading a few times. I know I have been very inactive recently. I missed uploading for over 1.5 years, but I'll see what I can do. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.